Welcome to the Kennel NRL podcast. The Gingers taking over. Welcome to a special edition where we have the superstar 210 NRL games, 30-something Super League games, played for New South Wales, played for Australia, the one and only Keith Galloway, and our ever-present co-host, Dibbo. Welcome, guys.
God help us. You say Gingers are taking over.
We are taking over.
We are tonight, mate.
Welcome, Keith. Thank you so much for coming in this evening to have a chat with us. How have you been?
Mate. Yeah, good, mate. No worries at all. Good to be here, man. Have a chat. And it's been a while since I played, man, so be a chance to reminisce on a few things.
It's been a while, but you played quite a bit. You had quite a big career. I guess I want to start with the basics. The game's changed quite a bit since you retired. Give us your overall thoughts of what you think about the game in 2023.
Yeah, good question, mate. I'm not a fan how the Tigers are going, obviously. It's been
we'll get into that, bro.
It's been tough to watch, but to be honest, man, it probably feels like a lot of the games are over-policed. Like, there seems to be penalties for everything. Everything goes to the video ref. Everything, every try's pretty much gone up. It's just it's probably seems a little bit different from when I played, but it's a lot faster, man. I don't think I would have lasted longer than 10 minutes in today's game. So yeah.
Wow. I know when you were playing for me, that was peak rugby league. You had the West Tigers at the peak of their powers. They had the excitement machine. You had Benji in full flare. You guys for about a decade, just some of the most. Even till now, you watch the highlight reels. You just see your team. Yeah, I mean, you had your back line for flowing movements, the freakish plays. It was like you'd see the team tries, and then you'd have yourself, Bryce Gibbs, and like Chris Heinington in the forwards, just absolutely putting on shots and bamboozling the opposition. It was a great era. I mean, you had Parrow and a run. You had the Melbourne sides, you had the St George sides, the Canterbury sides. For me, that was peak. I think if you look back on it, that era, the NRL averaged its highest crowds, averaged its best TV audiences.
Until now, is making a comeback.
Yeah, like they're the sides you want to see come back. You want to see the West Tigers come back to the top. You want to see the St George's, the Canterbury's. For me, I think they got the highest amount of fans, most passionate fans. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Rugby league should go to that sort of brand again, I reckon. So
you say the game is over-policed. Do you think this is too much meddling from people who haven't played the game, or is this a natural progression with all the technology available to referees, to players, to coaches, so on and so forth?
Yeah, it's probably got a bit to do with the technology. Obviously, there's camera angles everywhere, this and that. When I say over-policed, obviously we don't want to see anyone getting tackled high, people coming in at the knees and all that sort of stuff. But man, there just seems like there's penalties left, right, and centre. Every time you watch a game, stoppages even that was not even stoppages, even that 6 again play.
Yeah,
sort of gets a bit like touch football, man, watching it. But
yeah,
I was saying it did before. First 2 years after I retired, I hardly watched footy, so it's I'm starting to watch it a bit more now. So, but
you needed a bit of a detox after you played for so long and lived and breathed it for 15 years.
Yeah, man. Well, I enjoyed it. I loved my career. I loved playing and that, but it was a detox because you live and breathe it, you train it, you play it, and then I guess when I retired, man, I just took some time away from it, and starting to watch footy again this year. So a little bit last year, but a bit more this year. So yeah, probably helps with my son's starting to get into it too. So I watch a bit with him. So
is he big angry forward as well?
He's his first year of league actually. He's about to turn 9, man. So he's finding his feet, like learning the rules and that. But he's starting to enjoy it.
His son's going to be the biggest rugby league halfback in its history when he debuts at 205 centimetres. Right.
Well, I don't think he'll be as big as me because watching him play, man, there's a lot of other kids bigger than him already. So we'll see.
Yeah, he'll get the growth spurt. So.
I actually want to go back to something that happened really early in your career, and you were essentially the man that ended Hopewadi's career.
Oh,
do you have any memory of that?
Well, I had nothing to do with that, man. So I wasn't. He brought that on. He brought that upon himself. Yeah.
Oh no. As in, do you remember that at all?
Nah, not really, man. Obviously I remember that after it, and all the publicity about it. But
I still remember after what happened. Yeah. You actually caught up with him at a cafe. Am I right?
Yeah,
because I was present.
Yeah, that was.
Although you were so cool, man. Like honestly, I thought, geez,
Yeah. Well, that was I don't remember anything from that tackle. It was just like
that was such a.
Yeah, it was just I was taken out, man. I was not.
Horrible.
I had to spend the night in hospital.
Wow.
And,
Jeez, I didn't know that.
I didn't play for about a month, man. After that. So it was pretty,
That was
Was it concussion and everything, or
yeah, concussion, a bit of bleeding in that. So it was
damn.
yeah, looking back, man, it obviously wasn't pretty, but he got what he deserved, man. It was pretty.
Yeah.
100%, man? That was
thuggery at its worst, and rubbed him out of the game. He had done prior infringements beforehand, so
man, he just told him that's it.
Yeah.
You're done.
the NRL basically rubbed him out.
Yeah,
and that's
right.
about it. He went to something more suiting of his talents, which was boxing after. So he did well for himself there.
Look, in fairness, he reached out to apologise, man. And,
Yeah.
he knew. But it's not. It definitely wasn't a good look for the game. Or
100%.
I'll tell you what, but one of my memorable moments of involving you is actually a training incident. It's been replayed a lot. So tell us what happened there with Bryce Gibbs.
Oh, Bryce Gibbs, man.
I think he threw you a bad pass and you didn't like it.
Yeah, it was probably something like that. He's the ultimate shitster, eh?
He always was on the footy field.
I probably did what any other forward, any other team wanted to do, Even like that, mate. I wasn't the only bloke that. Like, he's one of my best mates. I love him.
Yeah,
like,
he's a good laugh. Yeah,
you can get under your skin. It's a bit of.
I think watching the footage, he throws you a bad ball, you lose it, he arches up to you and you just absolutely clock him. I think, Gibbs is doing something he's meant to be doing to his other players and he's done it to his own teammate. And the only guy successful in bringing him down is his own teammate. He's the only guy trying to get one into him. And the only guy that's successful
is funny, man. That stuff probably it doesn't happen that often, but I'm sure it's happened before. That one was just on camera, man. But
and it's always going to continue to happen, I reckon.
And then he's got over it pretty quick, Abe.
Yeah, well, he's
apparently he hopped in his car and ripped some burnouts.
I think it was Royce Simmons and Tim Shea. I think it was Royce there at the time. Broke it up and goes, "Get back to training." And Gibbo just walked off. He just took off. And he
came back.
I kept training. I had a ripped singlet. I kept training, doing the session, and then we just heard because the car park was right next to the training field, man, and. All we heard was burnouts in the car. Gibbo was doing burnouts. He was doing burnouts in the car and then took off. And then he called me that night. Going, "Oh, Sheensy said we've got to apologise and make up, otherwise we can't come to training." So we both had a laugh about it and went to training the next day. And, I think it was a couple of blokes we signed like halfway through the year. Junior Moores and Jeff Daniela. I think that was actually, it might have been their first day of training. It might have been Aaron Woods' first session with the top squad. Yeah. And this all happened in their first session, so it was pretty, looking back, it was pretty funny. Yeah. But it was patchy, we both sort of happened, got over it.
Forwards with, ego and testosterone, it happens, man. It is what it is. It is what it is, as you say, best mates now, so it's water under the bridge.
We'll sweet straight after, and a laugh. We have a laugh about it every now and then. So,
No, thanks for sharing, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Tigers, and so would you say they're the team you follow now, like as your sort of team?
Tigers are, yeah. I spent so long there, man. I sort of, I spent about 10 years there. Yeah, I played 10-year career there. So started the Sharks.
I always thought you'd end your career at St George. You grew up right next to the stadium. You played for one of the junior clubs, and then you let me down, mate.
I grew up in the St George area, man. So I was naturally a Dragons fan as a kid.
Any favourites?
I played most of my juniors in the South Comp at Mascot, actually, because I grew up in Brighton and Mascot was on the other side of the airport. So I played at Mascot. Then I was about 13, I think. The late Robert Stone, who was the Dragons.
He was lovely, yeah.
He was the loveliest bloke in the world. He taught me a lot, actually. But he got me to come from Mascot to Yarrawarrah in the Cronulla comp. And then, so I played a couple of years at Cronulla in the juniors, 2 or 3 years. And then they offered me a contract. Like Sharks offered me a contract and then pretty much signed it and I told Stoney. Well, like Robert Stone, he was the chairman or something at the Dragons or some role at the Dragons at the time, and I told him, he was like, "Man, I was trying to sign you for the Dragons. I wish you told me before you signed that contract." So, but that was fate, man. And so
it is. That
was fate. Played Matthews Carp and got graded really young at the Sharks and
17 years old.
Yeah, from high school. So
big mop of red hair from Cogramurus.
A lot more hair back then.
I think you stood out in the whole area. Everyone knew you, whether you knew him by name. Everyone knew Keith. Even if you hadn't met him, and everyone just knew this big red hair. So
yeah. So. That was it, man. So, it started my professional rugby league journey at the Sharks.
How was it like signing your first contract?
Yeah, it was pretty, man, it was a long ago now. It's pretty special. I think it was pretty special. Like, obviously, as a kid, everyone aspires, when you play footy, everyone aspires to try and make it, That was just a contract, man. I think it was my first sign-on was $250 or $500. But I was 15 or something then. But that's all it was. But it was just to say, I got a contract. I think
it would have felt good.
I think you started getting Puma boots and Puma shoes because they were the sponsor. A few
That's
clothes
sick.
and that. So
As a kid, that would have
It would
just
have been daunting signing your first NRL contract, though. Or hang on a sec, when you debuted at 17, were you in the top 25 at the time? I think
I wasn't in the top 25. No, so
Jeez.
I think I was on next to nothing, like a sign-on contract. But then I think we used to get, if you came from outside the top 25, you get a match payment, all that sort of stuff.
Probably just gave you raffle tickets.
that's for a lunch coupon.
Like. Oh, God.
Match payments it was back then. So,
jeez, and then, you know, like, all right, so you go from signing your first NRL contract, and then what's it like dealing with club management? Like, say there's, all right, say you now want to go to another club. Like,
yeah.
Does it get hostile with club management or coaches or anything like that if they know you've signed somewhere else or you're not?
Oh,
agreeing?
sorry, yeah, I know what you mean. I think that was, I was there. 2005. I signed with the Tigers then. So Sharks were trying to keep me. There was a few other clubs keen. I was close to going to South actually. They were really keen, but they were in they were in a big rebuilding phase back then too. They hadn't peaked.
Rusty bought them a few years later.
Yeah,
so,
and I had an affinity with South too. Like my mum's family were all South fans. I spent most of my junior rugby league at South, so sort of am a South junior too, man. But they were sort of struggling at that. And the Tigers, when I played Matthews Cup and SG Ball at the Sharks, two strongest teams at that age group were West and Balmain.
Wow.
And I thought, all these kids are the same age, might be a chance to sort of grow into some good young players. So I ended up signing at the Tigers. And I told the Sharks what had happened. I told them, I said, look, I'm going to sign for the Tigers. And all right, they weren't too bad. I got put back to reserve grade a bit. Maybe, I don't know if that had something to do with it.
There's the hostility.
But I was still young then too,
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't a genuine first grader then anyway. That's how I felt.
Who was the coach then? Was it Ricky or was it Chris Anderson? Or?
Well, Chris Anderson gave me my debut. So he plucked me out of high school, gave me my debut for I played the last 8 games that year, 2003, and then they sacked him at the end of that year.
Silly decision, yeah.
Stuart Raper came on.
Oh, that's right, Stuart Raper.
I think he was there for a couple of years,
Yeah, that's right.
And then,
Chook's, I think Chook was his father,
Yeah.
Chook would have been his father.
Yeah.
His father was an immortal.
And then after that, is that when Sticky came in?
I didn't have Ricky
Sticky.
Stewart. I think Stuart Raper was there for both years, I was there. I think they got him from Wigan at the time. He was coaching over in the Super League,
And then he had Tim Sheens.
Yeah, Sheensy. Yeah.
What was he like?
He's like rugby league IQ. It was unreal, man.
You just can't muck around with him.
There's no disrespect to my coaches at Kennel or anything, but when I went to the Tigers, it was pretty much daunting because all the kids were young and that. They were very welcoming and that, but even on the training paddock, man, there was like playbooks and there was everything. You had to memorize everything. All these stupid play names. Everything on the field was structured, so you had to get here. Like it looks, the way the Tigers played, it probably looked ad lib and all this sort of stuff, but it's all in Sheensy plans all that stuff. He'd have different game plan for every team we played. He'd know their weaknesses, know their strengths. And all that stuff Benji and Farry used to do on the field.
Was that all freelancing or what was that? Did he say, look, I want you to do this, for example, these sort of sets and that, but you can freelance here and there? Like when I mean freelance, just weave your magic? Yeah,
but so a lot of the time we'll take the tap and might be get to a certain spot, take another spot there, play the ball quick, and then the boys would, hit back there. Because you'd sort of deem where the weaknesses might be or what sort of players we can target.
That's incredible. We might,
say if we're playing a team, say even like when we're playing a strong team at a mad forward, say in today's day, say like a Taumalolo, would run at Taumalolo, make him do 4 tackles, gas him,
Yeah,
gas him, and then try and take his energy out of attack.
And
things
then
like that, things like that. You know what I mean? Like, or you get to even their smaller blokes. You run at their smaller blokes, won't make meters, but every play was structured for another play. And I had to learn all that when I got there, and I wasn't the smartest bloke at school, man. So it was a bit of a learning curve.
Wow. So Tim Sheen's now coaching at the Tigers. A lot of people say, he's past it, he's this, he's that. There's a lot of criticism of Tim Sheen's being the reason why the Tigers are sort of where they are.
Yeah.
If you look at the way the Tigers are going now, could you say you agree with that? In that maybe the game has gone beyond Tim Sheen's?
No, I don't think so, man. I think he's a very intelligent bloke, man.
He's trying to rebuild.
I'll never ever criticise a rugby league player. I'll never criticise I'll never criticise anyone in their professional arena doing what they're doing. These blokes have worked their arse off to get where they are. So I'm not going to criticise any player or anything like that. But I think our roster's just not as strong as most other rosters in the game, man.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty evident. You know, like all these, they're all out there doing their best, man. But whether it's we struggle to attract players, we have to spend. I know we'll have to spend a lot more overs than other clubs.
Yeah.
To come to a club like the Tigers at this current
situation,
man. But I don't know, man. I just think I think we really got to hone in on the juniors, man.
Yeah.
Like Campbelltown's
Incredible,
massive. Like
yeah.
the
It goes up
area
to
there.
Camden and that, eh?
Yeah, Camden. There's parts of Liverpool. Like it's just a massive. It's a
Yeah.
massive growth area. Like big families. Like, but Balmain used to be really working class, but the demographics of Balmain have changed.
Changed.
Yeah.
Balmain's like a real rich area now.
Do you remember in
A lot of
junior
rich
footy?
people don't play rugby league. Where Campbelltown and these areas, they're working class, man. There'll be
And they love their rugby league.
it's man, massive Pacific Islander community, massive everything. And you know, these kids, if they got hold of all these kids, because so many kids from that area, other clubs come and steal these kids, man, and take them. You know, Roosters get them, Manly get them.
Yeah.
Parramatta will come and take the kids from there. I think if West could centre in, like Tigers could centre in on that area and keep the good young kids out there, I think would be really a lot stronger in the future.
Spot on. I think before we were talking the second biggest academy in Sydney, or maybe the biggest between them and Penrith.
Yeah,
They have to
Penrith
be.
would probably be. Penrith. You know,
And remember-
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Balmain, remember Balmain growing up? Fuck, they used to have awesome juniors. Remember Leichhardt Wanderers?
They
and
still do.
They used to towel us up,
They're
Leichhardt
still-
Wanderers and Leichhardt
They
Juniors.
still
and-
is. Balmain still have. There's still good. A lot of good juniors coming through there. I'm just saying it's not the
Not
area
as-
it once was. You know.
Yeah, 100%. But like as you say, the future prospects could be bright if they handle it correctly. But there's a lot of negativity at the moment around the Tigers in the media, and they seem like to be a punching bag, right?
Yeah.
And the Doggies are copying the same treatment, and the Dragons, you know, throughout the year have also copped
The
that.
Dragons are their own worst enemy, but I find that the media goes after, like, I know Lee, Lee, is he the chairman or the CEO?
Chairman, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a chairman.
Like,
Yeah.
the fact that he wore that, what do you call it, the fedora, you know, the hat?
Yeah.
They went after him for
That was
that,
a
and
joke.
they tried to twist it around. And then they made a story between him and Chris Lawrence. You know, I don't know what's going down between him and, because Chris Lawrence sent him a text message or something. And
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'll be
sensationalised
honest, man.
it.
Like a lot of that stuff in the Telegraph and
just garbage.
Fox put on and that. It's just
garbage.
I don't even listen to it or take notice of a lot
Absolutely
of it. Because
ridiculous.
a lot of it's just talking about stuff that's irrelevant. Like
Yeah.
they're shock jocks, a lot of them.
Of course. And they're just trying to bring hate on Lee and, you know, what's
Yeah.
the other gentleman's name over there?
Lee Hadjipentis and
Pascoe?
Justin Pascoe,
You
yeah.
know, and, you know, Justin's trying, but
You know what's interesting? The podcast we recorded on Tuesday, the weekly podcast we do, I honestly said the exact same thing. I was like, these aren't even real journalists anymore. They're just there, like
nuisance.
They're like bottom feeders. They want to look at whatever the most drama they can build, they can put together, throw out there, get clicks, and usually it's
But
bullshit.
There's guys on TV that criticise players. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. Some of these blokes have never played the game.
Yeah,
Thank you.
100%.
What makes them
Thank
next?
you.
I'm not gonna name these people, but I'm sure people know who they are.
Yeah, we all know.
We named them.
They,
I named them. I don't
a
care.
lot of them have never played the game, or if they've played one, whatever. Like, no disrespect, but you can't be criticising players saying they're not up to it when, you know, that's my take on it. Like,
Of
you're
course.
hammering these blokes out there.
You
they're
play
doing their
250
best.
games. You have every right
Yeah.
to speak. You've
Yeah,
done
so-
honestly, like, and the other thing, like, as well is. It's interesting. They take digs at the players, they take digs at coaches, they take digs at clubs. But then when the CBA is up for discussion, the journalists are the first ones to attack the players when it comes to the players fighting for their rights.
Fight for everything, man. I'm with the players. I'm not. Don't be greedy. They've agreed on the money. There's stuff after footy, man, that players they deserve.
I agree.
Like injury. I've had players who end their career and they got nothing. You know.
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff, like Taniela Tuiaki.
Yes.
We'll just, yeah.
Injured his ankle and got nothing out of the game. You know, gave his livelihood, got everything to the game, and he got nothing. Simon Dwyer, his arm hole went. He could never play.
What's he
again.
on? $60,000 as a liaison officer?
He's in
What's
his
that going
strap
to
the
do
rest
for
of
him?
his life.
Yeah.
What's he going to do for him?
And you know all these it's people in the media because they did this industrial action against talking to the media. I don't know how long it's gone for. It's because those folks can't get a conversation with them. They're still out there playing and training. You're still seeing the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Like,
And sorry, just before I just want to mention something. And I find this very, very interesting is you look at all the players and all these podcasts that are out there, the players are happy to go on. Because you know why? You're being given a fair go to speak. We're with you. We want to know how do we achieve the best result for the players, and they'll go on to the podcast. They'll speak.
There's no narrative here. Like this is just a conversation.
That's it. Yeah.
You're not twisting a player's thoughts, giving him tricky questions and this sort of stuff. That's what the media do. That's what a lot of the media do.
And so they've written them off regardless, even if there was no industrial action. A lot of times I wonder, why the hell do you put up with like these dumb questions? Like what, you know, like even like there's certain journos that will just stick, like for example, Gus has been copying it just about, he had this secret meeting, had that secret meeting, but that's his job. He's manager of football at the Bulldogs. He's meant to be meeting with players. Like, what is so surprising about him?
So tell me, since when was, or let's say whatever, Tino, they want to give him a share in a pub. When was that illegal?
Well, it's not, and
now all of a sudden it becomes illegal because to people like the News Corp journos because, or Daily Shitograph journos because, you know, Gus is their enemy and he's doing well. He might have a signing clip. Now it's illegal all of a sudden. Why don't they go scrutinise what the Roosters do, for example? I'm not saying that, you know, Roosters I know for a fact will sign a player probably for unders, but they're offering that player, we're going to get one of, you know.
Third party.
They've got so many influential third party billionaires, millionaires, and they'll offer you the best investment advice or tell the players, grab your money, invest it into this, you know, here and there. And, you know, so why can't Laundy offer, you know, some returns or something?
And it's interesting, Laundy actually came out and he said that at every step of the way of this thought process, he's actually been speaking to the NRL auditors that before anything happens, he's asking them questions about this along the way, and there just happened to be a leak where Buzz found out about it. So, and you know, every time something happens at the Tigers, someone knows about it. Like my only disappointment with the Tigers is they need to rein in these leaks. Yeah. Otherwise, everything that's happening and like it happens at every club, I guarantee it. Like,
there's leaks everywhere. There's leaks everywhere.
No, but I'm saying like the disagreements you have.
There's spies everywhere. Yeah.
Like I reckon it's bullshit. It happens at every club. There's always disagreements. You're managing an organization with so many people's lives at stake. You're trying to build back up. And the only problem Tigers really have is that they're leaks. If they can rein in, because they seem to leak a lot more than other clubs. If they rein in those leaks, I reckon the Tigers.
But what's the common thing with the Tigers? We've been struggling for years. Whenever a club's struggling, well, the Dragons have copped it this year. There's rumours of the here and there. Dogs are copping it. They're struggling. Any team when that team's going good at the Tigers, when we were going good at the Tigers, there was no bullcrap bullshit coming out of the rumours coming out of this. Oh, there used to be rumours that Farah and Benji hate each other and all this sort of stuff. They don't get on, but they're two great mates. You know what I mean? Like, and those like gossip columns in the paper and all these journos that I think that's their job, man. They want to make up a story. Someone might tell them they'll write about it. People will find this interesting.
Chinese whispers, bro.
A lot of it, most of it's just crap, man.
Yeah,
and that's why I think podcasts are a good platform because the players can actually go on there and speak and tell them how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And it's and I think even fans are starting to realize like the traditional media is garbage. Like like the Twitter interactions that I have on Facebook with thousands of people that we interact with, and everyone's like, you know what, we prefer to we ignore the paper, we ignore these shitty podcasts run by these journalists, and we listen to the likes of like Bloke podcast run by Denning Kemp, for example, or the Willie Mason podcast with Justin Horro, or the James Graham. Because you know what, like James Graham, for example, has no dog in the fight when it comes to the CBA, right? He has Brandon Smith on.
Yep.
Right, he's asking him critical questions, but he's giving him a chance to respond. And you can see, Smith's like, you know what, this is what we're trying to do. And Graham's like, he's asking him genuine questions, but he's giving him an opportunity to speak the truth, not trying to have some sort of agenda. Yeah. And you think it's refreshing. It's actually something you enjoy listening to. I'm not sitting here with this journal trying to catch this player out. Like it's.
Well, James Graham's an ex-player. He should definitely understand the system and what you're in. You know, every employer in Australia has got the right to bargain a contract agreement.
100%, and that's all the players are doing.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah. And you know what? A large chunk around that is, for example, minimum payments for players, and obviously, like you said before, getting themselves covered if a career-ending injury. Like, can you imagine what's 150,000 in today's day and age with hyperinflation and the ever rising costs of living and property and that? What's 150K going to do for a player that's putting his body on the line every week, training himself, like training, busting his balls out in the public spotlight? Like after, like, all right, what's that 3K a week? What are you left after tax? $1,700. Yeah. Like, a person sitting in the office talking shit all day gets that money roughly these days. So,
and these guys that are on minimum wage.
We were talking before, like me and Keith, like what happens to an NRL player post NRL career, and it's. You've seen a lot of, like you remember Chad Robinson?
Yeah.
Like sad story, but he took his own life, like for example, I know John Cross, former Illawarra, Penrith, St. George Ford, went through bouts of depression because he's not in the NRL money anymore. And, it's a big change, Yeah. So I know the NRL's made moves to basically put education for, like, try to get him, like diplomas, degrees, or just put them somewhere, like.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the arguments is that the NRL wants to drop the minimum wage to 120K.
Yeah, please.
And the players are like, what do you like?
120K?
It's 10K, like because it's at 130 at the moment. The NRL wants to drop it. It's just like really basic.
I'll
stuff.
go labour on a job site 6 days a week for 120.
Yeah, and you make more than that
from 8 to 5 and go home, and that's it.
And you're right. Like you do look at a lot of the players, and you were mentioning earlier about copying hits to the head, and obviously no one wants to see that. But like, what's the cover a player 15 years after they retire if they come back with CTE?
100%. Like if you cop a knock to the head, man, like a lot of that be delayed.
Yeah, that's right.
The actual thing. So I don't know, man. I just think footy players there should be insurances and even healthcare. Footy players post footy. Like I think they gave me a year or two with surgeries and like I never got any of it done, by the way, but like delayed things from injuries from footy, like it takes a toll on you, man. I played 15 years professionally.
Yeah,
but my body's not in great shape. But that's just what I mean. Like
you look great.
He does too, man. But, 6 pack and everything.
All these players like down the track that are going to have injuries, and you know what I mean. It's going to hurt them in life, man. So I think. I don't know. If I was the players, I'd be fighting for even healthcare or something for the next.
100%, man. 100%.
You put your body on the line week in, week out, man. So
and without the players, bro, without the players being happy doing what they're doing, there's no game.
Well, exactly. Without the fans, there's no game. Without the players, there's definitely no game. So
and the admins are just there to make sure the game runs, not to dictate. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
The admin, Andrew Abdo, Peter V'landys, sure they're there to do a job, but their job is to make sure that the players are happy, the fans are enjoying the game, and things are running smoothly.
Look, everyone's got you're right. Everyone's got a job though. Everyone's got a job.
Yeah.
But I just feel the players are the prime. The players are,
100%,
you know what I mean?
100 million %. Because if young guys come in, see that this guy's getting injured, and then he's not getting covered or there's no cover for his future, they're like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Even the RLPA, they're fighting for the women's rights and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
If the media and that's making it out like it's a money issue and they're greedy. And man, the RLPA haven't had their chance to come out. You know what I mean? Because everyone hears for rugby league for the media. So the media is portraying that they're greedy, this and that.
That's bullshit.
The RLPA don't get a fair chance to say what's actually happening.
That's right. And the RLPA is saying, well, we want to be able to audit what the NRL is doing with the money because, a couple of years ago, the NRL came out and said after COVID, we only have 11 million to split between the players. RLPA does an audit and they find out it's 30 million. Right, but now the NRL with the new CBA, get this year, they want to reduce the RLPA's ability to audit the NRL. So it's like, okay, you got found out. Now you're trying to reduce the RLPA's ability to audit. You put one on one together. What are you trying to achieve here? You know what I mean? Like,
Look, nothing. Look, honestly, I think. My opinion here, I reckon Peter V'landys does a good job. I mean,
he's done a
shook up there.
Job.
I think
with COVID and everything, 100%.
He shook up. I know he's in charge of Racing New South Wales, but if you follow the racing industry, everyone knows that Racing Victoria held the monopoly on racing in this country for about 150 years. Enter Peter V'landys, and I'll tell you now, Racing New South Wales.
When there was all those lockdowns and all that stuff going on, man, how he kept the game going.
Yeah.
He was ahead of the AFL. AFL actually started copying his blueprint for everything. Matter of fact, a lot of sports around the world stopped operating, and I think the NRL was the only sport that in the USA they were watching for about a month, and then European soccer and they all copied the NRL's blueprint. Like, people quickly forget what V'landys done.
Oh, no, I'm not denying that. I think Peter V'landys, through COVID and everything that he did, maybe had some missteps, but overall, he did a great job. And, obviously, thanks to the Warriors, the NRL kept going. Yeah, it was great.
You got to take your hat off to the Warriors, man. What they've done, what those players done, man, to be away from their family, their kids, all that sort of stuff, They're living in hotels and that for however long.
They got the easiest run home. They might even end up with the minor premiership.
I hope so, man.
They deserve it, man. After
incredible.
And they're good to watch. I enjoy watching them play this year. So.
Oh yeah, that razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the NRL should do like a thank you Warriors round? I'm not even kidding. I think they deserve.
I thought Magic Round should. I reckon Magic Round should go.
That's
to New Zealand.
exactly what I was going to say, man. I think that Magic Round should definitely go there, man.
I'm sick of
even like
sick of going to Brisbane.
State of origin, man. I don't know why we play a game in Adelaide, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Play 2 in New South Wales, 1 in Queensland, or 2 in Queensland. And if you really going to take it away, go to Auckland, man. Go to New Zealand.
They'll sell it out. Easy.
They'll sell it out, man. They're all mad. Most of them bloody go for Queensland, but it would be mad over. Most Kiwis are mad at Queensland fans, but be nuts over there. I reckon an Origin in New Zealand down the track would be.
It would be incredible.
It'd be incredible.
And you know what's interesting? Like right now, with the Warriors doing so well, they're actually beating rugby for attendances, for viewership, for everything.
When the Warriors are going good Warriors are going good, rugby league in New Zealand's thriving, man. It's always 100%. Been like that.
As a matter of fact, the All Blacks came out and did you see that post they put up? Make sure you go support the Warriors tomorrow at Mount Smart Stadium. That was pretty cool, man.
Surely most Kiwis know rugby union's boring to watch, man. You know?
Come on, All Blacks are awesome. I love watching.
The All Blacks, they're a worldwide bloody, you know, the trademark. They're unreal, man. But I don't know, man. I've never been enough to watch rugby union, it has
its moments, I reckon, but it's rugby.
I used to watch it when I was a kid, man. Australia and the All Blacks. That's when we had Greg and all those blokes, you know. And Wallabies used to be pretty good, man.
Stephen Larkham and John Eales.
Yeah, but I haven't watched in years, man. I find it boring, eh?
Well, 21 years without a Bledisloe win, I think it's been 21 years we haven't won the cup, 22 years or something like that. It's bigger than the Maroons 8 years in a row.
It's kind of like England versus Scotland, you know, the Calcutta Cup. Yeah. I think Scotland finally won it after like 40 years or something.
Population of Scotland's what, 5-6 million? What's the population of England?
50 mil, 60 mil.
More than that, man.
More than that, man.
Yeah, I think it's close to 80.
Scotland's population's tiny. England's population is crazy.
But it's it's the other way around. Australia's got the 26 million, New Zealand's got the 5 million.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny, New Zealand bleed about 50,000 people to Australia every year.
We're talking about rugby union, but I reckon 1% of the population in Australia plays rugby union.
Whereas the other way, you
got to go to a private school, or you got to be. Your parents got to come from money. You got to go through this system. Where New Zealand, pretty much the whole country plays.
Yeah, what's funny? I went and played union in 2013, and I remember in one of the trials, I wasn't even, for some reason, I got graded in 3rd grade. I think I had 4 touches, 4 line breaks for 3 try assists. You know, from a league background.
Are you trying to say union's easy?
Not really. I don't know. For some reason, it went really good that game.
But imagine we had no rugby league. It was just rugby union. Imagine like the Mal Meningas and the Greg Inglis's and all these blokes playing for the Wallabies over the years.
Oh, you're right,
mate. Australia, the Wallabies would be. I reckon they'd be world champions.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually,
Meninga would.
Oh, you look at all those sort of players that have played league. Andrew Johns, all those guys. Imagine they were rugby union.
Or Latrell and Inglis.
Oh my god! Even some of the crop that's coming through now, some of the juniors are incredible, and I think that's what Eddie Jones was talking about wanting to do with poaching like Cameron Murray and some of the other players from rugby league, but. Man, unions, it's been on a decline in Australia for a long time. It's been on a decline.
It's probably, like I said, I know you can play it, but it's always been through the private school system, man. And
100%.
The vast majority of people can't access that, so.
So I want to change track for a bit. One of the discussions that Dib and I were having on the podcast on Tuesday was, so I'm a diehard Doggies fan, have been for 25 years. And our defense against the Broncos, not sure if you got to see the game or whatever, but our defense was just shit. Like we were like paper thin. They were scoring tries, like players identify that there's a gap there, but there's no one there to fill the gap. It's just like the systems are everywhere, right? Now, Viliami Kikau is supposed to come back this week against the Panthers, right? And the Panthers have 6 or 7 of their top players back, so we're probably going to get annihilated by 60. But my question, from your experience, can one player make that big of a difference in terms of adding that defensive resilience and tenacity?
We could definitely set an example, man. It's hard to say, man, but if he goes out there and he shows a lot of energy, like I remember a guy I played with at the Tigers, Gareth Ellis. Remember Gareth Ellis?
Yeah,
amazing.
When I ran out next to a bloke like Gareth Ellis, he just lifted everyone up, man. The way he tackled, the way his attitude in everything, man. The nicest bloke you'll ever meet. When he got on the field, he wanted to kill people.
He was a beast.
He was angry. He ran hard, tackled hard. But it's definitely an attitude thing, man. Like if Kikau comes in and he's
the line speed.
He's the line speed. But it's hard to say though, man. I didn't watch that game, but I know if you're talking about how the Dogs are playing, I know, man. I'm a Tigers fan, man. I've experienced a lot of it too.
But it's just like, the reason I ask is because, like, it's an attitude thing, and I don't think that Serraldo's a bad coach or he's got bad systems. I just feel like we're lacking like that leadership on the field in terms of a forward that can go and say, "Follow me."
Yeah.
Like I feel that's what the Bulldogs are genuinely missing, right? We don't have.
Who remember who was the captain last year? Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson. He retired.
So you're probably lacking a player like that. Yeah. That's a leader. Like a bloke that's
an example.
Well, like even like a bloke at the Roosters, like a Boyd Cordner or someone who's just going to set that example, and that his worst game his game's there. His best game's not far off from it. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, like his baseline's always.
He's there. He shows up every game.
Yeah.
He's just there in the trenches for you.
Because, Luke Thompson, he's injured this year where he hasn't played a single game. Kickout's only played 4 games. Last year, we got rid of Paul Vaughan to the Super League, which still makes no sense to me.
He's killing it over there too.
He was actually playing excellent for us last year. And then we've got, TPJ who can be hot and cold. And our second rowers are quite young. Like, we got that Jacob Preston who's only 21 and he's making an absolute fistful of it. And you just think overall, as a team, we're not that bad. It's just we're lacking that leadership because Burnham's still very young in terms of he's only 21, 22. Mine is trying to overplay his hand. He's making 40, 50 tackles a game, but missing quite a bit. And I feel like if we can get like a Viliami Kikau back to just lead the forwards, maybe he can lift the attitude and the baseline of the whole team. And so I just wanted your thoughts on whether one player can make that big of a difference.
He definitely can.
You'll need the cavalry around him, but as well.
I think we do have that though. I just don't think that there's someone leading them.
You just need a few more middle forwards.
All I'm saying is I'm not expecting us to go out there and smash the Panthers. I'm saying not get smashed.
He's Kickout's an edge player though, isn't he?
Yeah.
You need a middle.
I think if you need someone in the middle, I reckon just leading that man.
Yeah.
Like a tough front row or back or even an edge bloke, man. But the blokes in the middle are the ones that got to lead that line.
Like a Marco Mealy.
Oh, they were the you picture your mistakes, they say.
Oh, bro. Mealy Mason.
You had to tackle him.
Dogs of war.
This guy had to run into him as well.
Gibbo tried to tackle him, remember?
Mo really ran over him.
I really got him a lot better than I got him.
And then Mason looks down and says, fuck him.
Yeah. Oh, mate, yeah.
Jeez. That was
seeing stars. Oh, God.
Yeah. So if I was to ask you from your career, was there one player that you felt you had a rivalry with every time you faced him? It was like you're butting heads, you were trying to go at each other?
That's a good question, man.
I think you bashed someone on the field once. Who was it?
No, I didn't fight anyone.
Yes, you did. You bashed that Canberra guy.
Who's that?
Remember?
I had a
yeah, remember? No, hang on a sec. Somebody ran the ball. This guy cleaned him up. Scott Logan. He cleaned him up with a big hit. The other guy got up, couldn't hack it through the ball. And this guy said, okay, bang.
I don't think I connected properly, man.
Come on, man. He went flying.
Been humble, bro. Been humble.
There's somebody else who cleaned up on the field with a big hit. Jeez, there's been a lot over the years.
They used to be able to shoulder charge, man. So.
Yeah, that's right. It's changed.
You didn't hit him high. You got him.
Yeah.
You got him.
It was a lot easier to put a shot on shoulder charge
when you're taller.
No, when you're allowed to do
even
it.
A shoulder charge, man. It's to put a big hit on a shoulder charge. It's a lot easier to do that than get the technique right, man. So, but if you miss, it doesn't look good at all.
Yeah.
So, player that you think maybe would have been.
I don't know, man. I didn't really. There was no really one person who really had a run in or I didn't like. Like I had taken it, but it was.
Not you didn't like, just like a rival, like someone that brought the best out of you, made you want to play better just because you wanted to.
It was probably like if I was playing an opposition front row and I thought, man, this bloke's. I've got to measure myself up agaast this.
Didn't you punch on with Riles a few times as well?
I was a kid then, man. That was Dragons, eh?
Yeah, and like you were the kid and he was a New South Wales Australian forward. I think he punched on with him a few times,
I think Danny Nutley was fighting with Dennis.
Danny Nutley, I remember.
Yeah, that was that Cogra. I remember Tomo came and broke it up.
Yeah, Tomo broke it up.
And Tomo, miss Tomo.
Yeah, God bless.
Yeah.
So an opposition team then that you always wanted to beat?
Sharks, man, when I went to the
Sharks,
Tigers. Yeah. This was my old team,
Yeah.
This was my old team. I used to, Dragons because I supported them as a kid.
I'll just bring something up. There's about 40 seconds left on the clock. One game away from the grand final. You make about a 50 or 60 metre bust. You somehow get a miracle fucking offload array. Goes to, out of all people, Bo Ryan. There's about 30 or 40 seconds left. Yeah. He's about 15 out. It's not even first tackle yet. And what does he do? He kicks it. Yeah. And Boyd's there to clean up.
Who, Bo Ryan kicked that?
Bo Ryan kicked it in for Fitzhenry was never going to get it.
Was that 2010?
2010.
Yeah.
What a game that was.
1 point behind too, man.
What a breathtaking game that was.
If he played there, even Benji would have went to dummy half.
I think that, you know what, in terms of preliminary finals, that has to be up there in the top 5 or top 10 for sure.
It's one of the most memorable.
That crowd, I think that year we played Roosters. Oh. So we played Roosters in that 100-minute game.
Tell me that game.
100-minute game, man. So 100-minute game. So I went out there. I was out there for the injury time, and then there had already been 2 reserves. So I played. God knows how long I was on there for, but you couldn't interchange.
What was Chris Hynington thinking? Oh,
which game with Hino? Oh, with the scrum, yeah.
His head's over there.
Yeah.
Bro, the ball's in front of you.
Yeah. So we done that. So we lost that game.
And that's after the
After
big
100,
hit.
then we had to go to that was Saturday night, I think, and we had to go to Canberra, play them on Friday night down there. So we went down to
Wow.
Canberra.
That was great
We
performance.
just won against them.
They were unbeatable in Canberra, and they were on a
They were
hot
coming
streak.
home strong. We just won against them, and then we had to play the next week against the Dragons, man, and then the bloody beat us by a point. So we're on a roll that year, but just wasn't a B, man.
That would have been.
You guys were actually the Dragons bogey side when it came to games that
I
mattered.
think the next year we got them. We played them in the 2011. We beat Dragons in the semi.
No, that was
No,
Brisbane.
sorry, 2011. No, I think we played Dragons in the semis the next year.
The
In
first,
2010, they beat us to make the grand final. Then I think we played them in the first semi.
yeah, that's it. In
2011.
And then Brisbane knocked us out the following week.
Yeah, but those crowds, man, that we played at, like Homebush against the Dragons, that crowd was nuts, man. Roosters, crowd was nuts. Yeah,
That was at this old Sydney Football Stadium.
yeah.
And then Bruce Stadium or Canberra Stadium.
Canberra,
I remember
yeah.
Takiri down that sideline just absolutely
Yeah.
burnt the. I think that was the fastest I've ever seen him run
he
because nobody beat Canberra in Canberra.
Yeah, he was quick, eh?
Yeah,
You had Mick Potter as a coach
Yep.
for a year, was
here
it?
you go the
A
Canterbury
year or
fans
two?
again. Oh, still
Yeah.
bringing up Potter.
Potter came. When did Potter come? So Mick came.
2011 or 12?
No, after that. So Sheensy, 13, I think he came. 2013.
Was it?
Yeah.
Just for that 1 year.
I think he was
Two-
there for a year or two.
2 years, I think. I think he got his 9th each
He
year.
might have came 2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
Too
And
much
then Jason-
infighting.
Then Jason Taylor came for a year, I think. Or
Or
2
did you
years.
have Jason
I
Taylor
had
as a
Jason
coach?
Taylor for 1 year at the end, yeah.
Mm,
And then went to England, yeah.
How was Mick Potter as a
He's
coach?
good. I like Mick Potter. He's
Yeah?
pretty, yeah. He was pretty structured, like pretty different to Sheensy. Like Sheensy was just so different, like footy, everything, all these different plays. Where Mick Potter was probably a bit more direct, you know, how we want us to play.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
How's Jason Taylor?
He's a bit different too. Yeah, they all had their different sort of styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he an alright coach though, Jason Taylor? I feel like he copped a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah, there
I think-
was a bit in the media and that, man. Look, honestly, man, every coach I've played under, I've never had an issue with any of them, man. And they've all got their own systems and all the way they play, man. So they're all fine with me, man. I don't.
Who was your coach in England?
Brian McDermott.
And you had the Achilles and you missed that grand final way.
Yeah, so
That was-
the first year I went over there. They won it the year before, and then I went over there. We didn't have the best year, but I ruptured my Achilles right at the end of that year.
Damn.
But the other Achilles was sore all year, so I was thinking. But then the other one went on me. Came back after Achilles rupture, which is a big thing to come back from. I started playing good. I started feeling good, playing well. Then the other one went on me, man. So
Oh,
Jeez.
and we're going good. Like Leeds, we're going really good that year. So it
Was won the grand final as well, eh?
they end up the boys end up winning the grand final on Old Trafford, man. So
What was the Headingley crowd like?
unreal. The atmosphere over there is awesome, man.
And then Old Trafford for that grand final?
Yeah.
Jeez.
but would you say the atmosphere is better than in Australia? Like, are
The
they
atmosphere, yeah, they sing, they get into it. They're
Even the rugby league fans, like, they're
rugby
full
league
on?
fans, yeah, they love it, man.
Did you get into a...
Very tribal over there. Like
How
if you're
often?
from a certain area,
Yeah,
you're
they hate
you're
each
rugby
other.
league, you know. But
Yeah.
even like obviously like they call it football there, but soccer's obviously it's everywhere. But you get pockets or areas that just rugby league. There's no soccer, you know.
That's mad.
There's been like that forever.
That's
yeah.
the northern... They used to be called the Northern Football Union or the Northern
Yeah.
Code, whereas the union
Yeah.
sides were more south.
Well, rugby league's like there's a road over there called the M62. So it starts over at Liverpool and goes all the way over to Hull.
Yeah.
And then there's like
That's
like
what
St
rugby league-
Helens, Wigan,
Yeah.
Warrington. They're all sort of over there near Manchester and Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, Widnes.
And if you Widnes and that, and then over this side, like
Hull.
you keep going over there, Hull's right over the east, but then like Leeds and Wakefield and Castleford and
Oh,
Yorkshire.
So it's
club.
a rugby league sort of...
yeah, there's rugby league pockets, man, all off. The Leeds was the only big city that had
Soccer as well.
soccer and rugby league. So
Yeah.
Leeds, I lived in it, like that was pretty much the only big city that had a rugby league team.
That's
Wow.
crazy, man.
How often did you venture to Anfield?
Went to Anfield a bit, man. Went up to Glasgow, watched Celtic a lot.
Fuck, you love
Oh,
your Celtic.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So it was good, man.
How unreal, eh?
Yeah, unreal, man.
You saw the old firm.
Yeah, Glasgow derby. Yeah.
Did you meet up with a lot of the old boys outside the hoops and
Yeah.
get stuck into some biffs with the
None
with
of
the
that,
jerseys
man. Nah.
like the old days?
Nah, they're
I
not.
used to put on the news as a kid and find what are these guys fighting over? There's one side there's the green and white hoop jerseys, and the other
Yeah.
side it's that aqua blue or something. And
Rangers, yeah.
and they're just
it's a bit like
bloodshed.
it used to be like a religious divide and
it's all Sinn Féin or
and
something.
like a political thing, man. I've never been into all that stuff, man. But
yeah, I was just thinking, what are they fighting over? But you know what? It's one of the world's greatest rivalries. So,
well, there's been a lot of crime in that over the years when they play, man. But it's got a pretty troubled history. But the hatred in that game's unreal, man.
It is.
You can sense it, you know. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask another question about coaches, if that's all right. Like, you see a coach like Wayne Bennett, and I know he's master Bennett, right? But what is it about a coach that makes him good versus not so good? Like, what does a coach do practically that brings out the best in you? Like, that differentiates like the Wayne Bennett from Did you sort of get?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like. Like a Wayne Bennett, like it's sort of like the players want to play for, you know what I mean? Like they really want to play for him and all that. He's probably got a.
He's a motivator, right?
Motivator, yeah.
It's like he trusts in you, and
you can't just be a coach and just have a really good game plan. You've got to get the players to buy into it, to respect you. You got to respect them. You got to like Wayne. Apparently, Wayne Bennett has a different way of dealing. Have you noticed how there's troubled players? Clubs get rid of them, but Wayne Bennett can draw him in.
Yes.
And he seems to understand how certain players are.
Yes.
The horse whisperer or the player with
Des is a bit like that, to be honest. Des Hasler. Like
Craig Bellamy, he must be doing something. He must, by all reports, man, what he does down there, like he must, to me, he's a super coach. Wayne Bennett's unreal. He's one of the OGs, you know, but what Bellamy's done, when we look back in time, man, whenever he retires, everyone's going to go, man, what Bellamy done down at Melbourne.
I actually listened into a phone call once with Bellamy. He was trying to recruit Omar, you know, one of our co-hosts, when he just came back from Japanese rugby. I remember Omar's like, oh, look, I've got Bellamy calling in. Can you like stay quiet? I'll put him on loud. And I remember hearing Bellamy speak over the phone to him and all that. And I thought, geez, like, you know, you want to go play for that guy. Yeah. You know, just the way, you know, he was talking and, you know, he wasn't even trying to sell himself. It's just the, you know, the content of what he was saying and how he was saying it and everything. And he thought, yeah, this is one guy I'd like to play. And I think Bennett's the same. I've spoken to a few players about Bennett, and it's just like he talks to you and he lets you know he's got your back, and you know, you just want to go out there and literally take a missile for him. That's what it is. Like, you want to go do it for that old man. That's what you sort
of like go back to the media. You see how Bennett's never friendly with the media and all that sort of stuff, but he's protecting his players. Like, that's what he does, man. Like, and the players know that. Someone like him, they know that. You know?
I want to ask. I remember when you played Origin. Who was your coach there?
Ricky Stewart.
Oh, right, Ricky. Ricky likes getting stuck into. He's great. Everyone sticks around for the post-match conference these days just to see how he's going to react. Oh, he's just a classic. What about your Australian coach? Who was that?
Sheensy. So Tim Sheens. Oh, yeah. Club coach and
I remember that. Yeah. He's done it all. Far out.
I want to ask you, sort of end on this, about Origin, like in 2023, the Blues.
Yep.
What do you think went wrong? From obviously from
game one, we should have won game one, man.
Yeah, that was
like everyone forgets how close that was. Yeah. Like that last, we were winning. What was it with 10 minutes to go? We had a player up, all that sort of stuff. Like
that was a disaster.
That 10 minute stint or whatever it was. And I don't care what anyone says, man. A fit Turbo and a fit Latrell. Yeah, we're scoring points, man.
We're scoring 40 plus.
We're scoring, you know.
But that's not like they weren't fit. So you got to find ways. You got to find ways to win without. You know, a Turbo and a Latrell. Like, if Turbo doesn't get injured game one, do you still think? Do you still believe we win game two? Like, if he didn't get injured in the beginning of game two up in Queensland, do we win that game?
That's game two. They ran away with it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. 32 to 4.
No, I didn't. Even game two, like take game two at it. Like, if we take game two, we had to win. Though. I know that was a must-win thing, but I reckon game one we sort of, you know, we really stuffed up game one.
We lost.
We should have won that.
That 10 minutes lost us the series because there's no way we're going to win Queensland no matter what. Like, and they struggle in New South Wales as well. So if we win that first game, you know, a strong chance we sort of win the series. Really.
Yeah. And mate, Cody Walker, his game three, man. The way he played, bro, it was freakish, man. The
only reason I'm laughing is because I remember before game two, we were arguing about
this guy dug his heels in on national TV.
I was saying that Walker is an Origin material. I was just saying.
I'm trying to plead with him, like, you know, this was just. I think it was personal to him. Like, what's Cody done to
Nothing, man. Nothing. I just don't
trying to plead with him player, for 15 minutes.
He's the type of guy as a fan. Like, if he was on your team, you'd love him. But because he's on that position, like you hate him, and he's just like sometimes he's got.
Everyone thinks Cody just he's got
a bit of niggle in him.
Think about Cody Walker, man.
Organises the whole
bloke
left.
off the field.
Yeah,
too,
you
man.
could tell
He's actually.
It was like the way he was playing, man. It was just like he was dictating the pace of everything, you know.
He was.
And he tells me like, what I want, where you're
I
gonna.
wish he was about 10 years younger, man, because
I know
he won't be playing Origin for too much longer. But no, just
one more
his
season.
age and that, maybe next year. But man, he obviously started his career when he was pretty old, man. But
apparently he was in the junior systems of a few NRL
I think
clubs.
Storm, he was down at Storm for a while.
Storm, I think he was at the Roosters. I think he was at someone else as well.
Yeah.
And he just wouldn't stick it out. And then finally at 26, South said, "Look, come back. It's your last chance."
But I think game one, if we found a way to win the game one, I reckon we would have won it, man. Won the series, but obviously we didn't, man. So
It's just,
and all this stuff about Queenslanders, want it more and they get it more and all this sort of stuff, man.
It's all media hype just to build that.
I don't know, man.
that
Everyone makes out Queensland. I'll say it again. Everyone makes out Queenslanders are a bunch of grubs. They are the most placid, laid-back people. I don't know how we don't kick their ass every year. I spent almost the whole year there last year. They're very hospitable, very lovely.
Have you been to Queensland on Origin Day? Brisbane on Origin Day?
Everyone makes out they're a bunch of
But
grubs.
the whole city, man, the whole city is maroon.
Stop, yeah.
The whole city is maroon.
It's
a big
I love it though.
Go walk through Sydney when we're playing a home game, Origin game. You don't see anything. You
But
don't see anything.
their city centre's like smaller than Bankstown Square.
But still, bro, it's
I was trying to tell
evident.
them that. Like,
The whole city stops, man. Everyone's maroon,
Yeah,
man.
you're
All the
right,
kids
you're
go
right.
to school in maroon. Here, you'd hardly tell if you don't watch the
it's
news that the
true.
Blues are playing, you know?
But they're more like, because we've got like so many different sports that sort of use New South Wales as their hub. They are such like rugby league diehards up there, man. Like the Dolphins, you see the Dolphins and how much support they've already
But
got.
we should be the home of rugby league, man. How many teams have we got in Sydney?
I agree with you, man.
too many.
But that's what I mean. Like, we are the home of rugby league. We always have. It used to be the New South Wales thing. It all started here, man. And then,
He should be, you're right. And we were talking about that before. I think, they want to expand. I wouldn't mind seeing Newtown Jets rebranded. I mean, like, stay as the Jets, but move to Perth and have 2 games back in Sydney. North Sydney are exploring that as well. I mean, like, if you look at the AFL model, the only sides that worked for them going to other cities were sides that had a footprint in their original home base in Melbourne. And
but it's different. Like, the times are different. Like, Newtown and North Sydney and all these, like, where are they going to get the juniors from? They're just going to have to.
it'll be Perth.
Yeah.
So if Perth Newtown goes to Perth, they'll be them.
So the Roosters, man. Not many juniors come through the Roosters.
The Roosters will be carted off to Adelaide. So the Adelaide Roosters.
Not with Nick Politis around.
He's about 78.
Yeah.
How much longer is he going to be around?
Yeah. It's been a great chat, Keith. It's been so lovely to have you. Thank you so much for the yarn, just the stories.
Yeah, but we need to know his prediction
Which is?
for this year.
That's a good question. That's a good point.
Not any of our 3 teams, man.
Not for the next 3 years anyway, bro.
Hang on a sec. I can't believe it. Wait, Tigers drag. Yeah, they're finding. Yeah, hang on a sec. The wooden spoon bowl's on tonight.
Yeah, the wooden spoon bowl.
Oh, geez. I'll put that on later.
Who do I reckon, man? Penrith would be Penrith. If I was a betting man, I'd bet Penrith. But
Yeah.
even Cowboys, man, they're smokies. They could.
Yeah.
Cowboys and South say.
and Melbourne. Cowboys, South, Melbourne.
What about Warriors?
I'd love to see.
I'd love to see them win it,
Because
man.
Tigers can't win it. I'd love to see the Warriors win it.
That's what we were saying last week as well,
Because
yeah.
it would just be good for the game, man.
Yeah,
and
100%.
you know what I mean. And their coach over there, he was an assistant 1 year. He was a really lovely bloke. So he's doing well over there. So yeah, I played with Cam Serrato actually when I was a juniors, man. Cam's a real good bloke too.
Yeah.
He was at the Sharks when we were kids. So, but yeah, if I had to bet, probably Penrith. And you know what, people can mock Penrith, but they've brought these kids through. They don't go off and sign all these rep players and bring in like players on massive deals and stuff like that. They've pretty much grown that team from the bottom up. So.
They could field the 2 NRL sides, I reckon.
Well, they're incredible. I have so much respect for what Ivan Cleary's doing there because a lot of people say, oh, he's got good assistants, this and that, bro. It's Ivan. It's Ivan Cleary and the systems he's got. It's unreal. Like,
so they've been in 3 grand finals on the bounce, eh?
Yeah.
Lost the first one and they've
won the 2, yeah.
I can't see why they wouldn't make a 4th one in a row. And the only way they'll lose it, it's a big upset. I mean, Cleary's had a good rest. I know he was injured.
You know, injuries come into everything, man. Like, you know what I mean? So,
he's had a good rest.
Well, I mean, even the Rabbitohs, if they can keep their team on the field, bro, they're definitely up there.
Rabbitohs and Cowboys.
Latrell's out for this week anyway because he's not 100%.
Well, I wouldn't be rushing Latrell. If he's come back from a calf injury, you'd want him 100%, you know?
Yeah. So they've ruled him out for tomorrow against the Broncos.
Even Cowboys, man. Cowboys are good to watch. So they're going to be.
I love watching them, man. What about the Broncos? You reckon the Broncos can do it?
I forgot about them too, yeah.
Probably 1 or 2 seasons too early.
Yeah, possibly. All they need is if they get on a good run, man. Like,
Yeah. Your mate Toddy Payton's doing well up there, huh?
Yeah, he's a good coach, man. I always, as a player, he was always smart footy-wise, man. So it's no surprises.
Oh, he was their teammate as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Jeez, he was. I remember. I think he took the Tigers 20s to a premiership as well.
Well, that game we were talking about, the Dragons. I think it was the Dragons game.
Yeah.
He rolled his ankle at training 2 days before that. He missed that game.
Oh, that's right.
He was a
huge loss.
Huge loss for us. He was a senior forward in our team.
He scored in that 2005 grand final as well. I think he scored 2 even.
But so he was like a halfback in the front row's body, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He was missing that game too.
He was
So
at Canberra before that as well, so you got to play with some of those.
He's gone up there, and it's just like it came out of nowhere. Like first year was there, it didn't do too well, and then last year he's pulled it together, and they played out of their skin. And this year they had a rough start, but you look at them now, and they're beating top 4 teams. It's not like they're struggling against.
Actually,
the good
he went first year, he killed it. He went from the Warriors. Remember, he almost got the Warriors into the finals in 20.
Yeah, and then they got Nathan Brown,
and that was despite playing no home games. They almost, and then he almost took the.
He's doing well. You in contact with him at all? Do you?
Sorry, might speak like every now and then. We'll send a message on Instagram or something like that. But right, man. He's a good man, Toddy.
That's awesome, man. Want to say thank you so much. It's honestly, it's been such a pleasure just to chat, and thank you for coming on. Love to have you anytime you're available or want to have a chat or anything you want to talk about.
Limit one redhead per year.
No. Sorry, bro. Gingers are taking over. Redhead's taking over.
For once, man.
Look, thank you so much once again, Keith. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for all the insights, the chats, and look forward to speaking again soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, boys. All good.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Keith.
No, I did, man. It was good.